is a little bit of a longer one. And I think at the time of we're recording this, we're right at the beginning of April. So we're kind of at the wind down of Google's March 2024 update. And there's some angst out there in the world. And I believe this is a part of it. So does EEAT really matter anymore? Post Google update, I've noticed many personal blogs, specifically cooking, travel, lifestyle, and hobbies, have all gone down. They even have original pictures and actual human-made content. I'm starting to believe that authentic people won't find blogging worth it anymore, especially with all the tantrums of Google updates. I know I need to embrace the change, but I feel EEAT is another distraction for me and my team. Please share your insights, thoughts, and solutions. My personal blog traffic has gone down to practically nothing right now. Any actionable tips will help. Thanks.
Okay, let me start with the first part with the EEAT for those that don't know. So EEAT is for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And these are basically the four things Google is looking for within a website, not just a URL, but a site as a whole, for user trustworthiness, right? For looking at a page or a website of content and understanding that the person or the people that are running that website have experience with the thing they're talking about or have direct communication with somebody. So you can say, maybe you purchased an Android phone and you can write something as an expert because you own it, right? And you're writing about it. Or you could have spoken to somebody that is an expert on Android phones and you interviewed them and they've given you a ton of information. Now you're writing about it. So you have the expertise, experience and expertise. Again, expertise also experiences, again, the idea of giving people, I've used my phone. I know how to work it, right? I have experience. The expertise part is like, hey, I have done something for a while, right? Like people say, well, why should I listen to you, Steve, and your SEO? Well, okay, I've been doing it for 25 years. I've been teaching it for 15, 16 years now, I've been involved in it. I've worked for big companies, small companies, consultant for huge multinational companies and small mom and pop. So, I have expertise. I've been doing it a long time. So expertise does come over time, just like with any new venture you go into. You're getting into any new business. When you start out, you're new. You don't know much about it. You're learning and you learn and you continue to grow your knowledge base. And that experience and that expertise comes over time. Authoritativeness and trustworthiness. Well, the authoritativeness is really how valuable, how authoritative are you in your industry? How much do people value what you say and know you? And trustworthiness would be similar in that, what are the reasons why I can trust you? A lot of those authoritativeness and trustworthiness will come from building links. Links in the online world are a lot like referrals in the offline world, right? The more trusted the source or the person that's giving you a referral, the more well-known they are to you and their background that's known to you. If they're referring somebody to you, the more likely you are to go ahead and, call that referral. But if some stranger gives you the exact same number and the same name and gives you the same pitch, but you don't know who that person is, you're not going to have as much trust in that referral. You're not going to go out and, beat down every door to, get to that person. And links are like this too. Quality links from quality sites that are in your industry, in your geographic area, somehow related to your business or topical area. If they link to you, it's like a vote of confidence. They're saying, hey, these guys know what they're talking about. That's why we're linking to them. And so that builds your trust. And the more sites link to you, the more authoritative your site becomes. So EEAT is so important, in fact, that in Google's quality raters guideline, it's a 170-page document. And the term EEAT shows up, I think it's like 161 times. So it's used a lot in the way Google tells the people that they hire that are reviewing and looking at websites and what's a quality website and what's a crappy website and so on. It's the rules, basically. So if you've never looked for it, just go on Google, do a search for Google Quality Raters Guidelines. You'll find the document. It's a PDF document. Check it out. Like, at least go through it once. It's basically going to lay out what is considered a quality document. Now, that being said, you also mentioned that this person is seeing a decline in their blog and whatnot. Well, those things need to be looked at. You need to look at, do you have maybe a lot of old, thin content? Like if it's a brand new website, well, yeah, it's probably not going to be ranking great. If it's a site that's been around for 8, 10, 15 years and you've got, hundreds of blog posts and some of them never get found anymore, or some of them have like only 300 words on them or something, you've got to do like a content audit. So what we're seeing that's working really well, especially for like blogs that have been around for a little while, is doing a content audit, going back, looking at what you have out there. If there's something on the site that's just junk, it just doesn't have any real value anymore. If you're talking about, like the Olympics from 2008 or 10 or whatever it is, you know, and it's no value anymore, well, just get rid of it, just delete it. It doesn't need to be there. If you have content that's just outdated, can you freshen it? Can you make it more evergreen? Can you bring it up to today's standards or information? We're seeing a lot of folks having success at updating older content, freshening content, and having some more value out of it. Google is looking for content that explains a topic as a whole, explains a piece of content as a whole, the whole who, what, where, when, why, how, and whatnot, all to be better understood by users, right? Valuable to users. And you have to ask yourself, is this thing I've written, is it valuable to users? The other thing you've got to look at too is, structured data. Structured data is this sort of behind the scenes code that Google looks for to see if you have an article, what the article's about, and so on. If you have, like a frequently asked questions page, what the question and answers are, and so on. And the structured data can also help you get your content found better as well. So there's a lot that goes into it, and you can't, just because your site's dropping, you can't always pinpoint it to one thing or another. But from a standpoint of the initial question, does EEAT matter? 100% it matters, more so than ever. So make sure, for example, on your blog post, if you have an author and it's written by an expert, better to have the name of the person that wrote it and have that link to that person's bio, who that person is, where they go to school, how long have they been doing what they do, why should someone listen to them, what makes them the expert to write about this, that gives them the credentials that they need for you to trust what's written. Because I think just in general these days, because of the web and the proliferation of the ability to just put anything you want on the web, what's real news, fake news, whatever you want to call it, we've all become much more distrustful of the content. Like, is this real? Is this really good? Should I really be reading this? And I think when it comes to EEAT, the expertise, the experience, the authoritativeness, and the trustworthiness of the person, of the author, of the writer, of the website is going to have a huge impact moving forward. So if you are seeing declines, take a deeper dive, take a deeper look at what's going on, run your site through some kind of an audit tool, not just your homepage, your individual page, run the whole site through a tool, see if there's technical issues, see if you have broken links or broken images, see if you don't have title tags or description tags, like see if you're missing some of the basics as well, because all of it comes into play. Google's algorithm is like a giant recipe with hundreds of ingredients. And if you leave an ingredient out, it can make the whole thing taste bad. Or if you put too much or too little of an ingredient in, it can make the whole thing, can throw the ratios off and make you put in sugar instead of salt or vice versa. It doesn't taste the same anymore, and it won't taste good for Google. So you've got to look at everything, got to critically evaluate everything going on. It may not just be the words on the page, but it may be the other things around it that are causing issues or causing drops and whatnot. And then, of course, study the algorithm changes, right? As these things come out, lots of places do studies on hundreds or thousands of sites that are related, and they show different drops in different industries or something that got impacted. But sometimes it's out of your control. Sometimes it's nothing to do with you. It's just Google's changed the way that they're showing things. Also, again, if you're talking about rankings versus like visits, sometimes we're seeing in a lot of industries, because Google's, zero-click links, or everything's sort of showing above the fold, that have, people also ask, or they've got, jobs or flights or weather before you never have to click anywhere. It's just on the page. And we're seeing a lot less folks going down to the actual organic rankings, the blue links, and clicking on those, because the information they're looking for is at the top. And the same issue with like generative AI, especially on my mobile device. I ask questions a lot on my mobile device, and I get the generative AI from Google, Gemini and so on, showing up with kind of answers. Okay, there's the answer to my question. Great. So there's no clicks anymore. So again, take a look at, are you using all of the possibilities within within the search, the search, the schema, the structured data, long form content? Are you using headlines, H1s and H2s? Are you using lots of good keywords within the content, mixing them up? Are you overdoing it? There's so many different things that can rank you better or worse, and you really need to get some kind of a deep dive into what's going on. Bottom line though, EEAT is not going anywhere. It's gonna stay. It's important. Establish yourself as an expert. Put your bio in a long form format. Let people know who you are, why they should trust you. Tell them about your experiences. Tell them about the things that you've done, the jobs that you've had, the work that you've done in the past, the successes that you've had. It all goes to be social proof that you are somebody worth listening to about the topic you're talking about, and it will help you in the long run. So that's my long answer to the long question.